justice, no peace. Do something, we all we need. Do something, when you can't think. Do something, can't breathe. Do something, no justice, no peace. Do something, we all we need. Do something, do something, do something, do something, do something. I take heed, boundaries overstep. I make beats to relieve the stress. I can't breathe, feel it in my chest. It's like a knee to a nigga neck. Thoughts be on my mind, I'm trying to get a say. We inside, y'all online, we ain't in the net. Man, they taking black lives, we ain't into that. Oh, what I do to get my sister back. Look at this, you if you just standing with your phone out. Couple minutes past, now my homie gone now. We heard the news, now niggas going all out. Nothing else to do but put it in the song now. Nah, y'all really wanna act, we can act. Y'all really wanna scrap, we can scrap. You wanna bring it gas, bring it gas. Y'all wanna get loud, we get loud. Y'all get foul, we get foul. Y'all get wild, we get wild. When you can't think, do something, can't breathe. Do something, no justice, no peace. Do something, we all we need. Do something, when you can't think. Do something, can't breathe. Do something, no justice, no peace. Do something, we all we need. Do something.
Run me back.
Do something.
Oh, it's after this. It's after this.
Do something. Do something. Do something.
Cops killing niggas on mine. Pray to God we stay alive. We wasn't supposed to make it past 25. Jokes on you, we still alive. Cops killing niggas on mine. Pray to God we stay alive. We wasn't supposed to make it past 25. Jokes on you, we still alive.
What's good, everybody? We are back for another dope episode of the Black Sheep right here on video. You already know what it is. I'm your host, Sugar Cosby. You can follow me on all social media platforms, Sugar_Cosby.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Mike, man. I am also your host, man. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at I'm_A_Brown_ guy. Cause you know, me and Sugar, we be lit or whatever.
Yeah, we got
you definitely lit.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram. I mean on our internet, on our website, www.energyradio.com.
Or download the Energy Radio app on your Android and Apple devices.
Okay, you already know what it is. We got a dope show for you guys today. Mm-hmm. Definitely got a lot to talk about. I'm not too much excited. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got a few things that I want to get off my chest.
Right.
So, we're gonna get right into it.
Okay.
So,
let me know whenever you're ready to go, because I mean I could just talk, you know.
Yeah, word. Yeah. Okay, so did you hear the story of the woman who adopted a child? Okay, so a white mother, okay, has been charged and accused of faking her adopted daughter's illness and subjecting the child to necessary treatments, including several invasive surgeries. Sophie Hartman daughter suffered from a rare neurological disorder known as alternating hemiplegia of childhood. Authorities in Seattle, Washington say that Hartman had subjected her daughter, who was adopted from Zambia as an infant, to unnecessary medical procedures since she was the age of 2 years old. Wow. The girl was forced to wear leg braces. She used the wheelchair. She was fed through a surgically implanted feeding tube. And she also had a tube implanted in her intestines to help her go to the bathroom, according to court documents. Hartman was charged last week with 1 count of second-degree assault against a child and 1 count attempted domestic violence assault against a child. Okay, I wanted to bring this up because it's been a big issue in Africa and in other majority black poor countries, where these women and men come out there to prey on the children. I was just watching a BCC documentary on, they steal the children for sacrificial practices and, for barren women who can't have children. They go ahead and buy children off the black market from the clinics and stuff like that. Now, I was trying to explain to Mike how I didn't see too much wrong with them doing the black market adoptions in certain areas. I don't want to say, I don't want to put it out there because I know that child trafficking is real. They can be buying these kids for slavery. They can be buying these kids for sex trafficking. They can be buying these kids, like I said, for sacrificial purposes. But what I'm saying is that, some of these women, they can't necessarily go through the legal adoption process.
Right.
So what they do is they will go ahead and find a way to have their baby, under the table. I don't think that there's nothing wrong with that practices, but I understand, why these practices are so dangerous.
But with the documentaries that we were watching, I think they were called Baby Stealers or something.
Baby Stealers, yeah.
Baby Stealers.
BCC documentary.
Yeah, and it was just basically about, they were talking about the whole process of how everything goes from the baby being stolen, how it gets put out there on the market, and how much the baby could be possibly worth.
Word. And it was crazy.
It really was, because you're thinking, like, they're stealing people that are living on the streets, babies. Like, these mothers that are just having these kids and are probably exhausted. Their body is just totally exhausted from having a baby, that they can't even sleep because they have to worry about someone that's going to steal their child, their little infant, and then they're going to never see it again. Because, we heard stories about people that have not seen their children in some cases since, like, 2016, all the way back to 2011. And these mothers, who are young, by the way.
They're very young. They're usually they steal the homeless ones, according to the documentary, for the sacrifice. They look for babies under 3 years old, homeless on the street. The criminal system, it doesn't really work too good out there, so they're able to pull off different crimes, and unfortunately it just, for me, and I want to be completely honest and transparent with what I'm about to say, because a lot of Africans are going to be so offended. But I personally felt like for a long time that the people that stayed in Africa, the Africans that are there, they're reaping the consequences of selling their people out. A lot of those people that are still there had everything to do with the 20 million Africans that were sold into slavery worldwide out of Africa. 20 million people. That's a lot of people, So the ones that are left, they're going through a lot of stuff. They're going through colonization, where the people from other countries and other places, they're coming in and they're purchasing their land and they're taking over your spots. They have white only areas still in Africa to this day. White people have colonized in Africa. You also have the Chinese. They're trying to, build their own mini China in Africa right now.
Facts.
And it's the Africans' fault. You sold us out. We are so spread out all over this world, and it's amazing to see African culture everywhere, and I'm not taking away because we're black. We're descendants of Africans, you know what I'm saying? Right. But realistically, I feel like it's a lot of karma Africans deal with because they sell themselves out. And to see that this is still going on right to this day is ridiculous. Now, I believe that in, I'm trying to figure out which country in Africa, they just basically made it illegal for out-of-country adoptions. If you're not from, where is it? Damn. It starts with an E. Ethiopia. If you're not an Ethiopian, you cannot adopt an Ethiopian child. And I applaud Ethiopia, matter of fact, for that, because we know that these situations are going on, and we know that these people of other nationalities, other races are coming in, and they're taking the children, and they're doing Lord knows what. Slavery is very much real, and it's still alive. They still buy kids to make them into slaves. They still buy grown people to make them into slaves. Sex trafficking is real as well. Our children and our girls and our boys are fall mainly victim to that. You know what I'm saying? They hunt our men. When y'all get a certain age, they don't want you no more. They just hunt you, try to kill you off. But before that, you are worth something. You know what I'm saying? You know, these perverts go across seas, across the country, to these third world countries where they know they can get away with sleeping with children, having a whole line of 5-year-olds lined up to give you pee-pee pleasure. You know what I'm saying? And as nasty, word up. And as nasty as that sound, I want you guys to feel that shit. Because it's really going on. It's the people, you know, that come here and persecute people, that live here and persecute people on a day-to-day basis that do shit like that. The people that got the elite with money to go to these other countries and abuse these children, they do it. You know what I'm saying? Because they still have this mentality that we're just, I don't want to say the N-word, but we're just that. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you know, it kind of takes me back to when I was watching a documentary about Tupac, and he was saying, you know, he don't care what kind of title you could be. You could have a title of a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever, but at the end of the day, these white folks see us as thugs and niggas, and until we get rid of that image and throw out a positive one, that's how they're always going to see us.
Word.
So,
Word
I mean, it sucks because we had... Look at that. In early 90s, like, we had good representation of how black people should act. You know, we had shows like A Different World, Family Matters, all those good shows, yo, that, you know, put people in the black image in a good state because they were going to college, they were young, and now it's like that message is totally lost within so-called, I guess, reality TV.
We in reality TV and everybody's praising it and they're losing their morals and values. It's really, really sad.
It is.
Because we're such a strong people. We're so resilient. We've been through so much. Right. And we've grown from it. You know what I'm saying? So it's really disappointing to see how culture is evolving, you know what I mean, or devolving in a bigger sense. I also want to talk about this Virginia teacher. The Virginia teacher, he was placed on leave after refusing to use students' preferred pronouns. I want to go ahead and play this clip real quick, and then we can come back and talk. All right. I'm just going to play the audio real quick.
Cross, and I'm speaking out of love for those who suffer with gender dysphoria. 60 Minutes this past Sunday interviewed over 30 young people who transitioned, but they felt led astray because lack of pushback or how easy it was to make physical changes to their bodies in just 3 months. They are now detransitioning. It's not my intention to hurt anyone, but there are certain truths that we must face when ready. We condemn school policies like 80-40 and 80-35 because it will damage children, defile the holy image of God. I love all of my students, but I will never lie to them regardless of the consequences. I'm a teacher, but I serve God first, and I will not affirm that a biological boy can be a girl and vice versa because it's against my religion, it's lying to a child, it's abuse to a child, and it's sinning against our God.
Okay, and that was that. The teacher's name, his name was Byron Tanner Cross. He's a Christian gym teacher at Leesburg Elementary in Loudoun County, Virginia. He has been placed on a paid administrative leave after publicly refusing to use the preferred pronouns of transgender students. The announcement was revealed last Friday, May 28th, after Cross' speech on Tuesday at the Loudoun County Public Schools meeting about rights of the transgender. Now this is the same school district that was under fire back in February for canceling Dr. Seuss books for racial undertones. In videos shared online, Cross stated, "My name is Tanner Cross." And, well, we don't have to read that. We already basically listened to it. But I wanted to really just get into this because, you know, I'm all for love. You know, love is love. You know what I'm saying? And you should be able to love who you want to love without having to deal with the backlashes of being in love. You know what I'm saying? I feel like to each his own. Right. But I do also feel that teaching sexuality to children is wrong. I believe that pushing homosexuality to children is wrong. I believe that children should not even be like, you know, exposed to certain things. What we do in our personal lives is our personal business. Transgender men, shout out to the transgender men who actually made their transition, and when they do it, they did it completely, and they didn't just, you know, throw on a dress and then put the beard out there too. You know what I'm saying? Because there's confusion, and when children see that, they ask questions like, what is it? Is it a girl or it's a guy? Now we have to come up with all of these damn terminologies for people who just don't want to do what's in the norm. And I completely understand. I'm one of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I do not like to do what everybody else is doing. And I'm not here to gay bash or transgender bash or nothing like that. Okay, but right is right and wrong is wrong. Sexuality should not be taught to children. Okay, if you're a transgendered male and you want to use the pronouns of being a male, then you need to be a male with it. Okay, at least give that perception. Don't be half-assed. Don't sit there and put on a dress one day and then the next day you're wearing freaking boxers and all this other stuff. Don't do that, because it's confusing, especially to children. And then it forces, parents to have to explain these things to children, which confuses them because they don't understand what's the problem.
All right.
To a normal child, they don't understand why this person doesn't understand that that's a boy or that's a girl. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be, my personal opinion is it shouldn't be presented in a certain light. Okay?
All right.
To each his own.
But regardless, and you are right to feel how you want to feel about the situation. Well, regardless, these things are going to keep happening whether people like it or not. And this is nothing against transgender community and nothing like that. It's just, I don't know. I guess they're kind of still
morals
going out of. Say again?
I'm just going to throw morals and values out there. It's all about morals and values. It doesn't matter if you're gay. It doesn't matter if you're straight. It doesn't matter if you're transgendered. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even matter if you're transgendered and you still deal with the opposite sex of which you was naturally born. It really doesn't matter.
Right. And that's just like how, they're trying to incorporate it into sports, or how they're trying to say like transgender women should be able to run with,
that's not physically fair.
It's not, because
it's not physically fair no matter how many hormones you take.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're legit born a man, so.
Yeah, so you have those advantages. That's not physically fair, It's not physically fair.
Regardless, they're starting to incorporate these things, and look, man,
they're saying that it's the hormones. Like, once you start taking hormones, it starts to break you down. And once a male starts taking estrogen, his bones become thinner. But even if your bone, they said that you become, daintier or something like that. I don't know. The estrogen does something to you. But what I'm saying is that you are still physically built. Like, our bone structures are different. Our muscle structures are different. You know what I'm saying? It's not fair.
It's. Listen to me. Like I said earlier, man, at the end of the day, it's going to be what it's going to be. And there are people that want to fight this and have, transgender women run with regular women and all this other stuff. But I don't know. It's just really, I can't tell. You can't tell nobody how they identify. I think it's just when they try to take a step into actual, what is it? I guess, the real world.
Facts.
And these people are starting to tell these people that this is not okay. But I mean, look what happened at the gay. How does the gay parade happen and they kick all the police out?
Because they got power.
How?
The LGBTQ community has more power than any other freaking civil rights movement, anything else in this history of this country. They have power. Okay, because a lot of people are gay. Homosexuality has been around since ancient times. It's just that the norm is not homosexual. The norm is heterosexual. And they want you to be able to live a heterosexual life.
In regards to that, though, I was just saying, like, how is it that, these Asians, they don't march or nothing, but they're still getting bills passed for them. But meanwhile, we're still, like, Joe Biden and all these other politicians,
that skin complexion, baby.
They try to campaign heavy, especially in the black neighborhood, because the black vote is the determining vote of who the next president will be in this country. I don't care what nobody says.
Let's keep it funky. Let's keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Chinese people, Asian people, they experience racism too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? White people experience racism too. Indian people experience racism too. Any person on this planet experiences racism. Somebody's racist against your ass. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, what I'm saying is, white people are at the top of that food chain. Then it drops down. At the very bottom of that food chain is black people. All right, people of African descent. Okay, Chinese people, although they are discriminated against, they still have the complexion for connection. I know you guys heard that before, but complexion for connection is when you have a certain tone and a certain hair grade, so you pass. You know what I'm saying? Because white people, they're really not. White and black is a terminology that's only used in America. Okay, first and foremost, let's get that clear. Let's educate now. White is anybody with white skin, anybody with non-African heritage background. Okay, right. Black is anybody with darker skin. It doesn't matter if you're Asian with darker skin, you are black. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're a Hispanic with darker skin, you are black. Okay, it doesn't matter if you are freaking from. It doesn't matter where you're from. If you got darker skin, and I'm talking about from the high yellows to the dark skin. If you are African descent, you are black in this country. Now, a lot of people calling themselves white is not even white. They got black in them. Okay? During slavery times, there was a group of people, the mulattoes, they call themselves, which is an offensive term for a biracial person mixed with white and black. A person of European, I can't even say European because European is African descent. So we're going to say a white person and a black person have a baby. But what is a white person? A white person is an immigrant that came to America that has white skin. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for a white person in America. Let's be for real, because you guys' history, you guys are German. You guys come from Germany. You guys came from Ireland. You guys came from all kinds of other places. You didn't come from white, just like we didn't come from black. Okay, you guys came from somewhere. So a white person is an immigrant that lands here with white skin. A black person is an immigrant that came here and is of African descent. Can we get that clear? Okay. I had to make that clear because a lot of people just don't understand what white is.
All right. Well, I mean, you mean
even Europeans that freshly come here, they don't understand what white is.
Well, and another thing too, man, you got to remember the term Caucasian is still relatively new. It's not something that's always been back. It's only a couple hundred years old.
Right.
So I mean, when we have these racist terms, like the N-word has been around for a long time, and it's just really weird, when you do the research about these words or whatever. But at the end of the day, I was just making a point of like, I'm not saying that we shouldn't treat everybody the same. Treat everybody the same. But if you're gonna give Asians laws prohibiting hate crimes against them, get the same to black people, man. Because God knows we've been in these streets marching and protesting, and people been getting their ass beat, taken to jail on a consistent basis. Yeah. And we still, in police brutality situations, being denied our civil human rights.
Right.
So, with that being said, I got something to talk about real quick.
Go ahead.
You know that, this past week was Memorial Day on Monday.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, in Hudson, Ohio, an audio lieutenant had his microphone cut when he began to speak on black people's role on Memorial Day. All right, now this happened May 31st, again in Hudson, Ohio. All right, Lieutenant Colonel Bernard Kenter said he included the story in his speech because he wanted to share the history of how Memorial Day originated, but organizers in the ceremony said that part of the speech was not relevant to the program's theme of them honoring the Service City veterans. All right. Now this man, he went on. He was talking about Memorial Day, and he said, freed black slaves are where the history of Memorial Day originated because they dug up soldiers, all right, and they properly buried them.
Who were just thrown in the graves.
Right, which were thrown in the graves a little bit after the Civil War. And, you know, he was saying that people of color should get more credit to things that, unfortunately, they will probably never get credit for in this country.
Yeah, we don't get credit for anything. The other day we were watching the Oprah Winfrey Show, and we were actually watching Thomas Jefferson's family.
Yes.
You know, the man that signed the Declaration of Independence. Mm-hmm. And basically Oprah got Jefferson's black side and the white side to show up. Now, the white side that showed up was the white side that wanted to include the black side. You know, that wanted to tell the story. What's her name? Of the slave that Thomas Jefferson, Sally, kept in his basement. You know, they try to make it seem like a love story, but let's keep it 100. Let's keep it a buck, okay? Slavery was an ownership ordeal. We were possessions. She was owned by Thomas Jefferson, okay? Was it Thomas Jefferson?
It was Thomas Jefferson.
Sally Henning.
Sarah Henning.
Oh, Sarah.
But look, it says Sally right here, but it says Sarah right here.
I never heard Sarah, so we're gonna say Sally. But what I'm saying is, Sally was 14, okay, when she bore Thomas Jefferson's first child. Okay, he was not only a rapist, but he was a child molester. Okay, period. And he owned slaves. The man that signed the Declaration of Independence owned slaves.
Yeah, of
period.
course. I mean, are you really shocked though?
So yeah, I'm not shocked at all. Oh. So when we talk Memorial Day, okay, and giving people of color what they deserve, you know, and recognizing, you know, the white people, the Caucasian people, right, you know, because they take everything from us, all of our credits.
Oh, yeah.
They take everything from us. You know what I'm saying?
Plenty of inventions that's probably out right now.
Forget
that
eviction.
Were made by.
Forget evictions.
No.
Let's talk about bathing.
No, that's not.
No. We're going to talk about it. Let's talk about bathing, okay? There was an annual bathing that Europeans were doing at one time. And I don't know if you guys heard of it. I'm pretty sure they're trying to delete that out their history. But you guys can go ahead and do your own research. There was an annual bathing that they only bathed once a year. Okay? And when they did bathe, it was the oldest in the house that bathed first and the youngest in the house that bathed last. And you know that saying, don't lose the baby in the tub? The reason why you would lose your baby in that tub is because the water be so black by the time it's time to wash that baby. Okay? And white people don't like to give us credit when credit is due, because when the black slaves seen that they was doing that, they stopped. They put them D on like, nah, y'all need to bathe way more than that. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how we learn how history really is, and how savage certain people was that called us savages. You know what I'm saying? That's some savage shit right there, because y'all have access to water. Y'all could bathe more than once a year, and y'all just wasn't doing that. Y'all was just letting the poom poom stink. Okay.
Right. And meanwhile, while having animals run through the house.
And it was also the Africans that taught the Europeans to have stables and stuff, because you guys had your freaking horses, your freaking pigs, all of that. Well, some of y'all still got pigs in the house, but y'all had y'all wild animals in the house. No, for real. I seen it all the time. That shit nasty. Stop. They don't even, they don't wipe. They don't go to the kitty litter. You know what I'm saying? They don't scratch at the door when they ready to use the bathroom. They can't control that. So you need to, get that shit out the house. Like, that's not where it's supposed to be anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't understand how they did it for so long. How you got a whole horse in the house and you letting it dookie in the freaking living room, and everybody just sitting there like, oh, tell Betsy the slave to come get this shit up out of the living room because the horse done shit it again. No, come on now, y'all. And then you call us savage? Yeah. That's some savage life right there.
That really is, yo. People should know better. All right, it's a lot.
Let's talk about Ring Around the Rosie. A pocket full of posies, because y'all niggas is nasty. But we're not gonna get on that either right now, because I feel like feeding y'all your own damn history, because y'all just don't remember. Maybe y'all, it's not that y'all don't remember, it's that you know, because you guys, your people have control over what we learn and what y'all learn and what we're exposed to. They lied about it. You know what I mean? They try to throw all the shameful things that they've done, just like Britain. You know, they were part of the slave trade. You know what I'm saying? A major part of the slave trade. But because they're so noble and they, you know, they're trying to erase the history. If you go to Europe, you see that a lot of people are mixed breeds. Why? How is that possible? Because you guys were a major part of the slave trade. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very important for us to dig and to learn our history and to learn their history and to understand that slavery is really not black. It's a part of black history. It's a big part of black history because we sold each other out. Our people sold our people out. And it just got out of control because we were the black dots in the middle of the target. We were different.
Too, at the same time, they did have a form of slavery in Africa, but it was more like indentured servitude.
Yeah.
Now, when they sold off the black people to the white people that came, I don't think that they had any idea. Regardless,
they didn't care.
Right.
Just like they didn't care about these babies that they've been selling, and stealing from their parents.
But I mean, I was just saying, like, you know, they didn't know.
They're doing it now. That's why I'm just.
Can I finish?
I apologize, but what I'm saying is they're doing it now, so that's why I said what I just said.
No, yeah, okay, all right, duly noted. And only thing I was just gonna say was, you know, they probably had no idea. They thought that the white people's version of slavery was gonna be how theirs was over here. They probably had no idea the hell that they were selling their people into. And I guess, did you ever think, or did they ever think like that? You know, maybe one day those people would come back. Like, I mean,
no. And you know what? They knew exactly what they were doing because those white settlers, those white slave owners set up camp right on the shore of Africa. Right, and they demonstrated the same hatred, the same torture to those Africans that were held captive, waiting to be transferred to other countries. So you can't tell me that those Africans did not know the torment that their people were about to suffer. They didn't care. Just like they're selling kids out now, they were selling us before, and something needs to be done about it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of woke people get upset when we talk bad about Africa, but it's time for us to make a stand. Okay, it was Africa that sold us the fuck out. Africa
what
did
do you mean when it was Africa?
It was Africa. Africa
what
sold the African people.
Don't say that.
I believe it was Africa because that's who Africa is. Africa sold out Africa. Africa is the reason why everybody came into Africa and colonized Africa. Africa did it to itself. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Africa fucked itself.
Well, and you got to remember too, this is coming after, you know, there were, because Africans did go to war with each other within that country. There were very different tribes, and they haven't get along. All right, now this is after the country has been going on wars, and then Europeans start coming over, not only taking slaves, man, but taking the resources from over there because Africa is very resourceful. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, I mean, what we have now is, like, there's nobody to stand up and defend Africa. That's why it keeps getting ravaged, raped of its resources. Women are getting killed. You know, there are women getting kidnapped. You know, you have these different entities, Boko Haram, and all these other things.
I believe that I feel like one of Africa's main problem is the language barriers. You know what I'm saying? Africans don't take time to get to know their neighbors, but white people did. They studied us. You know what I'm saying? Before they conquered us, they definitely divided us. And they definitely studied us. Like the new plant that just came out, or the new animal that just got discovered. They studied us. They learned how to communicate with all the different tribes of Africa, something that Africans wasn't even doing. Okay? And they infiltrated the Africans, and Africans sold each other out because they seen each other as different.
Well, and you got to remember too, man, with all the tribes that were in Africa, every tribe spoke a different language. That's
what I'm saying. There was a language barrier. It was hard
for them, right?
It wasn't that hard. Africans are very, very smart. They discovered a lot of things when it comes to astrology. A lot of scientists moved into Africa and learned from Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? Egypt was the basis of the world of knowledge. Okay, so they wasn't that dumb. They could have did it.
First of all, I never said they were dumb.
You never said that. I'm saying that they wasn't that dumb where they could not go and learn the different languages what the Europeans did when they came over. What happened was they didn't care to do it, just like they don't care to communicate now. Okay? Africans everywhere. I'm talking about even the Africans that were sold into slavery. They don't care to communicate with other African people. In fact, the Caribbean Africans, they separate themselves from the United States Africans. You know what I'm saying? Just like the United States Africans, they separate themselves from the Spanish Africans. But y'all all Africans at the end of the day. The slave trade didn't change shit. It just mixed our bloods up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and don't you think that's kind of why they are the way they are, just as far as separating themselves because you had these different tribes, man, that probably told their descendants, yo, listen, this is how we do things. We kept to ourselves, and we don't associate with nobody. That's how we've thus far survived. So if you just keep to yourself, have your own village of people, and y'all will be all right. Just don't go out there.
So the white man comes out of nowhere.
Right. And
he looks different. He's all manipulating and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you that Africans were very smart people. The slave trade set Africa back about 1,000 years. You know what I mean?
Maybe longer.
Probably longer than that. Set them predated all this technology and stuff that Africans did discover. It set them back, but it was their fault. You know what I'm saying? It was the Africans' fault. You let these people come up in here. You don't know nothing about them. They start sharing dumb shit with it. When I was watching a documentary where they was actually selling human beings for pottery,
like actual pottery
for pots. They were selling human beings for pots and pans and knives.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I really just, and then, like I said, I seen a recent documentary on BCC, and I'm so disgusted, with the amount of child abductions is going on in Africa at this time, especially given the fact that the abductions is what set Africa back in the first place. Mm-hmm. So y'all niggas is still out there doing it and don't understand why y'all living so poorly, why y'all so nasty. Instead of stealing kids, why don't y'all figure a way to pave the damn roads up?
Because
build the houses better.
And I'm not condoning them to going around stealing babies, but you gotta remember, everybody's trying to survive. Everybody's trying to make.
They was trying to survive when they was selling people to slavery.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Listen, regardless, it is done. It happened now.
No, it's happening.
Well, it's being happening. Done. The babies are being stolen away from their families right now.
Not just babies.
And can I finish before you want to bum rush? And in certain parts of the country,
I'm not bum rushing. I'm responding.
Not bum rushing, but
we're having a conversation.
But you're not letting me finish my comment before you go off. This is what I'm saying. Let me finish, and then you say exactly what I was gonna say. Their babies being stolen, and there are still in parts of the country, black people being sold by black people to white people. Okay.
Word.
So I just think that that definitely needs to be more attention paid to, because it's like you'll hear reports on it, but you won't hear no updates on how the country's doing or what's going on. Did they ever stop the slave trade, or not the slave trade? Wasn't it going on in Nigeria? Wasn't it going on in Nigeria? Where was it going on at?
No, it wasn't Nigeria. It was Kenya.
Kenya. No, not the baby stealing thing. Like
what?
Like actual slaves still.
Slavery. They doing that in Senegal.
In Senegal.
You know what I'm saying? It's them. It's the Indians with the dots, not the feather, bruh. Sorry.
Whoa.
Okay, it is for real.
Okay. Well.
It's them. For real, they still buying and trading. They had slaves from everywhere. Mm-hmm. Okay, they had their own people as slaves. They had white slaves, black slaves, all kinds of slaves. Okay, and they're still doing it. They still practice these things till this day. Nothing's changed. You know what I'm saying? We all know about it, but everybody keeps looking another way. I don't know. It's really terrible. You know what I'm saying?
It really, really is. You have something you want to talk about, or you want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I just I was especially talking about this on the mic with Michael. I was talking about Naomi Osaka, who's a tennis player, withdrew from the French Open due to she felt last month was May Mental Health Awareness Month, and she brought she was saying that you don't realize you being an athlete after physically exerting yourself on the court or whatever you play on, because you have the hardwood in basketball, the field in football, this, that, and the third. You don't know the physical effect that it could have to keep asking athletes the same question but entirely different ways, but not realizing you're doing it just because they're trying to get their question asked or answered out there. Now, Naomi, who did withdraw from the French Open and was fined $15,000 for not speaking to the media after a tennis match. Now, she's getting a lot of support from athletes. Huh?
That's part of her contract.
I understand that, and I'm not saying that, it was a decision because, in 2018 she did announce that she was suffering from depression, which is a mental health issue, and it's something that she deals with, and that's why she was saying that, especially with athletes and them being asked like the same question only but so many times that you can try to answer in a different way. That kind of thing she was saying was having a mental effect on her. Now she did get respect and a lot of love from a lot of sports figures around the country. Now recently, you know, well, you might not know, but I know Brett Favre, who just been coming crazy since he really been retiring, talking a lot of shit. He did criticize Naomi Osaka and saying that she felt like her, along with other athletes, should talk to the media based on the amount of money that they make. And you know what? That's not even the issue. My whole thing is that, okay, you get paid, regardless of whether you get paid $20 or you get paid $1,500 or whatever. I understand you get paid, but I mean, just for the simple fact of you can still have all of this money in the world, but still be messed up, because some of the richest people, especially in Hollywood, have some major issues, and they have all the money in the world. So mental health is definitely an issue that should be talked about, especially in the black community, man, with everything that's going on, seeing us constantly being killed by police, and then for judges and jury to sit there and say, oh, well, you know what, your eyes lied to you, that's not what happened. Like, you know, seeing that so much, do you really sit there and think of how this affects you mentally?
Mm-mm.
See what I'm saying? And that's why I don't think, you know, Brett Favre, you know, you shouldn't just shut his mouth, because, look, all right, he's a Hall of Famer quarterback, played for the Green Bay Packers, played for my New York Jets, played for the Minnesota Vikings, all around the NFL, all right? And listen, mental health presents itself in different situations. And, you know, look, I don't think that's something that she should be criticized for. At the end of the day, listen, if she is in a contract that she has to do these things, fine. But you should also pay attention to how athletes are performing, because you never know. Like, a person could seem good, but then just like, you know, you'll find a person hanging the next day. And this is athletes, yo. These people have media paparazzi following them around all day, every day. Mm-hmm. You never think about that. Like, you know, you never know what this person's going through, or if they are going through somebody finds out and it gets leaked into the media, and then that just brings on a whole bunch of different issues. All I'm just trying to say is mental health is definitely important, yo, and it needs to be talked about, and it shouldn't just be brushed off by people like Brett Favre or anyone else that was criticizing Naomi Osaka for simply bringing up that issue.
Word.
That's it.
All right. So, and I totally agree with that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to cut you off. Mm-hmm. So, but I wanted to also talk about a situation where Hollywood Unlocked did post a video of a black guy that punched a Chinese woman in New York City. Yeah. This man has been arrested 9 times in the past for his, you know, behaviors. Now, I think that the problem really is mental health. You know what I'm saying? The problem is that especially in New York, New Jersey, we have all these mental health cases, and these people just keep getting locked up. Mm-hmm. Instead of these people being sent to the mental ward, they keep getting locked up, adding on charges, you know, government getting paid off of that. And more black men and women are suffering from this than anybody, because, you know, a lot of us were interbred. And if you don't know what interbred meant, that means when we were mated with our parents, and that was only a couple of years ago. So, you know, the children in that you know, mental illness is still lingering in our communities, and they know that, you know. But instead of sending these people to psych wards, the judge just sends them to jail, give them a sentence, and then they're back on the street. 9 times is a lot of times for one person to get locked up for violent crimes. Okay, it becomes a mental illness after a while. Something's wrong with him. He can't sustain in public. In the regular, you know, he just snapping. I watched the video. He just hit the lady out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
No
she
reason.
Fell back and it was rough.
He has an apparent mental illness, and it's not being the mentally challenged, especially in these inner cities, they're not treated properly. You know,
right.
I was locked up one time with a woman that had a mental illness, and she kept seeing spiders all night, screaming and hollering and yelling and all this other crazy stuff. And then one night I was like, why is she here? Why is she locked up? And she did something crazy. Don't get me wrong. She did something very, very insane. But she didn't, for me, deserve to be in jail. She should have been in somebody's psych institution. None of the CEOs knew how to deal with this woman.
So, being that they don't know how to do with this woman, I mean, wouldn't you think, yo, let me call in a doctor?
No, they locked her. They had her in max security right in Lexington County, South Carolina. That's where I was locked up at. Wow. They put her in max security. They gave her her own room, let her pee on herself, and did all that crazy stuff in the room by herself until she was sentenced. And that's wrong. She's clearly mentally challenged. She gets a check. Okay, and what she did was wrong. I don't want to tell her business, you know what I mean? But what she did was completely wrong. I would have, if it was out in the open and I would have seen her on some shit and I knew what she did, I probably would have chipped her up. But mentally ill people do deserve to be put in mental institutions where they will be sought for properly. You know, you keep putting them in jail and then sending them out. That's just making the situation worse. Now you're traumatizing the situation where it's already messed up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so that is not the way to go. Now, I did want to talk about this. Black Wall Street Gallery vandalized in New York City on Oklahoma Massacre Continental.
Yo, what is wrong with y'all?
All right, listen. All right, so a New York City gallery that was founded to pay tribute to the 1921 Oklahoma race massacre vandalized multiple times this week, including on May 31st, the deadly event of 100 years anniversary. At the press conference on Thursday, the owner of the Black Wall Street Gallery said that its logo was smeared with white paint, which was discovered by a security guard on Monday morning. The next day, graffiti was discovered on the window. We are neither shocked nor surprised that merely 3 days after the opening on 26 Mercer Street and the celebration of our ancestors, that we will find literal whitewashing of Black Wall Street on our front window, owner-director Rico Wright said Thursday. In a Facebook post, the gallery said the New York Police Department initially claimed that the incident did not constitute hate speech, despite the fact that it is occurred on the sentimental anniversary of the 1921 Tulsa race massacre, which the president went out to Oklahoma to speak on and speak to the victims, the surviving victims. The only two known surviving victims are three, I believe. So now I stand before you today and not only denounce the hate crime, but also to say that the NYPD, let's hurry and deem this what it is. And let's understand that the variants of hate that exists around us. And to understand it does not take it doesn't take a noose hanging in the door to realize something's hate, Wright said Thursday. The NYPD did not respond to NBC's news request for comment on the gallery allegations against them.
Man, so, all right. So let me just, after the 100-year anniversary of the Tulsa, Oklahoma race riots, all right, they have a setup in New York.
Yep.
And someone really decided to bring their asses down there and just smear all over it and just disrespect. But, I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised at all. They do this to us all the time. We can't have no kind of peace or anything that is going to have us, have us remember or honor our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get mad every time because their main thing was they owned us. Their main thing is they owned us. You know what I'm saying? Their main objectives is to tear us down. Their main objective is to make us hurt. None of the stuff that they done has ever been to benefit the black community. Now, I'm not taking away from those that did fight in the Civil War, those white people, those white pioneers that did fight, that did help in the railroad, the Underground Railroads, that helped free slaves, that did certain things. I'm not taking away from them. Mm-hmm. But let's be for real and let's be frank. Majority of you guys still think the way that you do. And until we start to expose these motherfuckers for what they are and get justice for our people and reparations for our people, it's going to be this aggravation and this intensity is going to just continue to go on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Until liberation of my people is official, until it happens, this is going to continue to happen. On both sides too. Mm-hmm. Because we're not sitting ducks no more. We're not our ancestors. And we've been saying that for like a couple of generations now. Y'all not getting the picture. Mm-hmm. Okay? We all washed up, but we still feel that same pain. And these racists and these bigots that just can't let it go, they the real haters. They're stopping evolution. Okay? Everybody on this planet, the Chinese, the Indians, the blacks, the whites, wherever you from, we've all contributed to society. Right. And if we would stop going against each other and work together, we can put all of this knowledge, all of this God-given gifts together, because God blessed every single race of people in its own special way. They're good for different things. And this is a known fact. We're built different. We sustain different things. For real. Okay? If we would just come together and utilize our strengths, we will evolve as a people. Yeah. Okay? This land won't be, the land that we're living on is dying. Everywhere you go is dying. It wouldn't be dying if we would just come together. All the nations of humans.
Everybody has their own agenda, man. You know, we are the only race of people that will not stick with each other.
No, we're not.
Well, we're all right. Technically, okay. Let me just put it like this.
Not black Americans. I don't know about anybody else.
Asians stick with Asians, man. You got the Jewish people; they stick with the Jewish people, and white people stick with white people. Like
black people stick with black people.
Yeah, but it's not like how everybody like. If it's one thing Asians do, they will stick with each other no matter what. We will not stick through each other. We are so divided. And, you know, I would love to sit here and be like, yo, yeah, we're still united, this, that, and the third. We're united in thought, but when it comes to just kind of uniting amongst all of us people, hopefully we'll one day be able to achieve that. I don't think we can do that now.
I think that we're already starting the process. I see a lot of sister bonding, brothers bonding. I see a lot of black fathers, shout out to y'all, holding y'all kids down. I see a lot of young entrepreneurs that's putting on, that's opening businesses, that's giving other people of color jobs. I see people like Tyler Perry putting on a fucking show. Shout out to Tyler Perry. I see Black Wall Street coming back. You know what I'm saying? I see it. And it's so sad. I had a conversation. I was on my live on Bigo, and this guy was like, "Nah, there's a difference between a black man and a nigger." I said, "No, there ain't. Who told you that?" He said, "No, because a black man, you can talk to a black man. You can't talk to a nigga." I said, "You stupid. A black man is a nigga. What you talk about?" To everybody else, you damn fucking right. You ain't different from nobody else. You the same as him. We could sit right next to each other, and you could be educated. You could have all the money you want. But to a racist bigot, you the same as me. No matter how much education you have, no matter what. Now that nigga shit, I hate that our black people is using that against our black people. Okay? That's some dumb shit. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Trying to separate the one black man from another black man. Y'all still two black men. One just smarter than the other. One just woke and the other ain't. It ain't no, the Spanish people ain't separating themselves like, oh, hombre, he a spick and I'm a real Spanish man. Nobody does that. So why is black people doing that shit? Why are y'all separating ourselves? Just understand that there's levels to the shit. Just like we got our ghetto ass black people, they got they trailer trash ass white people, okay? And they got they ghetto ass Chinese people, okay? They got they ratchet ass Indian people. We got that in every freaking culture, okay? Everybody got aunties, everybody got uncles, everybody got that drunk ass cousin. Okay? Everybody, everywhere. So to classify yourself as a black man and to say, I'm a black man, but you're a nigger. That is the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my life, and it makes me sick. Okay? It really does. Now, I could say, oh, Shaquita across the street, she a hood rat. But I ain't gonna say, oh, she's a nigga and I'm a black woman. Really?
Yeah.
How much love do you really got for your people?
For yourself.
For yourself. Yeah. Okay, that means that if you have a child and your child runs out with the mentality of being a hood nigga, he's a nigga and you a man, you separating yourself from your child, it doesn't work like that. Y'all the same. Okay, and black people, the main thing when it comes to unity is just accepting that you is my brother and I'm your sister. Right. You know what I'm saying? We the same. There's no difference. In the eyes of the enemy, we is both going to be attacked the same fucking way. Ain't no dollar going to come between that. Ain't no, oh, I'm educated, I can read. No. You still a nigga. Stop it. Stop doing that to your brother. Because I'm telling you right now, when the shit hit the fan, some shit can't go down in the hood the way it do in Valleyville. Some shit just talking about black people don't come together. Y'all, let me tell y'all a story about the Israelites, okay? The Israelites in Longbridge. I was going through an abusive relationship, okay? And I called my Israelite brothers, okay? I'm not an Israelite. Well, I don't claim to be an Israelite. I don't really know the history or what's behind that. But I called one of my brothers. And they came and they handled that situation exactly the way black men was supposed to handle that situation. Right. When I called the police, Asbury Park Police, okay? Mm-hmm. They laughed at me. They took pictures of me. They wrote me. They got a statement and everything else, but they laughed at me, okay? And they made me feel this big. But my brothers came through for me. So when you say there's no black unity, I don't believe that. When you say that black people cannot unify right now, I don't believe that. It's right in our face that we are unifying. It's right in our face that we are educating ourselves.
But it's not. I didn't mean the sense of we all can't. But I'm just saying, like,
no, we are in the process of doing it now.
It's different factions that are not allowing us to do so. This is the thing. We have black men out there that are fronting for a corner that they don't even own.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, if they don't get out of that mentality, thinking they're always... Well, I'm not going to say that they're always going to be there because you never know, man. Life has a way of showing out and improving your situation, whether you're ready for it or not. Sometimes life just happens. Life happened with me. Life happened with you. Mm-hmm. Right? At these same things... Now, listen. Well, let me ask you this. Being that you did have that car accident, do you feel like you're still that same person before you got into that accident? Or
no, I feel like I'm stronger. I think experience is key. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want we don't have that much time left. Right. I want you guys to understand that we are also conditioned people. We conditioned to fail. Okay? So the mentality of us knocking down our people, that was trained, that was put into us. I got a book called the Willie Lynch, what's the name? I'm gonna let y'all, Willie Lynch, we're gonna talk about, we're gonna have a special show where we're gonna talk about it, but we are conditioned people to hate ourselves. We are conditioned to talk shit about each other. That's why when I catch my fellow black men and women and I feel like we were throwing darts at each other, I rip that shit apart, right? Rip that whole paper up. Like, we ain't gonna do this here. Because that's something that we are conditioned to do. We are conditioned to hate each other. We are conditioned to watch each other suffer. We are conditioned to hold each other down, okay? We are conditioned to snitch on each other. We are conditioned to assassinate each other. We are conditioned to hate each other, period, okay? That is something that we were conditioned to do, and it was something that we were conditioned to do for centuries, okay?
How do we break that generational curse?
We stop doing it. When we catch ourselves speaking negative about ourselves, we stop that shit. We learn self-love. We learn to love our hair. We learn to love our skin. We learn to love our people, regardless of their mentality. And just understand we are broken people, and we have to start teaching our children. Start with the kids. Start building them up. Start spitting knowledge to them. Even if you think that it's not going to work today, that seed is planted. It might grow tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say. My name is Sugar Cosby, at Sugar_Cosby on all social media platforms.
Yo, it's your boy Mike, man. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram. _A_Brown_God. It was a real good show today.
Real good show. We had a lot to talk about, even though we didn't think we had anything to talk about.
For real, man. That just goes to show you, man. Like, life is crazy and life happens. But, yo, make sure y'all follow Energy Radio on Instagram at _G_radio.
Facts. It's getting warm outside, y'all.
Be safe, man.
Be safe. Keep those masks
Wear
on.
your mask, all right? Because we ain't playing with y'all out here.
For real, no. The coronavirus ain't playing with y'all. And then they got this new disease that came out.
Man,
you got all this new stuff out, y'all. Y'all better be careful, yo.
Yeah.
Stay safe. One love, yeah.
Peace. Pledge allegiance to yourself.
Pledge allegiance to yourself. DH1 TV Network.
Word.
People's Network.
Word.
Boom. Now you erased last week, so I couldn't send it to him.
I erased it?
Remember when I told you when it says, oh shit, we're still live.